Muy bien, muchas gracias. Muy bien, bueno, pues muy buenos días a los que nos siguen por YouTube, que nos están tanto de manera sincrónica como asincrónica, escucharán también esta charla. Pues el día de hoy estamos muy contentos de que esté con nosotros, bueno, pues están conectados tanto Alison Mackenzie, que ya la presentaremos en un ratito más, y está con nosotros también Salvador Andrade Ortiz. Salvador, pues es un gran amigo de nosotros, de esta facultad, y también es un gran amigo pues, de esta comunidad. Él es de la ENES León. Y bueno, pues realmente tenemos esta relación cercana con la ENES León y con pues Chava también, que si me permites decirte Chava, Chava también, pues es un gran compañero y un gran colega. Me voy a permitir leer su semblanza para la charla que tenemos el día de hoy. Salvador Andrade Ortiz es maestro en administración por las universidades de Western Kentucky, de Moncton y la Autónoma de Querétaro, e ingeniero industrial y de sistemas por el Instituto Tecnológico y de Estudios Superiores de Monterrey. Él es profesor titular A de tiempo completo definitivo y secretario académico de la Escuela Nacional de Estudios Superiores de la Unidad León de la UNAM. Fue jefe de la División de Educación Continua de la Unidad de Extensión en San Miguel de Allende del ENES León de 2013 a febrero de 2022 y corresponsable de la licenciatura en Administración Agropecuaria de la misma ENES León de 2017 a 2021. Ha realizado diversas actividades de actualización profesional, entre las que destacan su certificación como Cinturón Verde de 6 Sigma por la Universidad de Arizona, el diplomado en Finanzas por la ENES Unidad León y el diplomado en Economía Digital por la Comisión Estatal para la Planeación de la Educación Superior del Estado de Guanajuato. Sus líneas de investigación se centran en la economía digital de las MIPYMES y de las redes y cadenas de valor de empresas rurales. En este marco, es corresponsable del programa de servicio social denominado Municipio de León, desde donde se realiza una vinculación con la Dirección de Desarrollo Rural del Municipio de León y la iniciativa privada para el mejoramiento de micro y pequeñas empresas rurales. Otra de sus líneas de investigación es la aplicación de simuladores empresariales como recursos didácticos para la enseñanza de esta. Es PAPIME, titulado Tecnología Educativa para la simulación de actividades empresariales a través del software de administración Marketplace, Estrategias para la Innovación. También ha realizado cursos y estancias académicas nacionales e internacionales, los más recientes, el diplomado Train the Trainer en la Universidad de Canadá en julio de 2019 con fines de capacitación pedagógica y la visita como profesor investigador a la Universidad de Tokio en Toyo, en Tokio, Japón, en diciembre de 2019. En su desarrollo laboral profesional, ha ocupado puestos en áreas comerciales de empresas globales como Grupo Bimbo y Dow Química. Bueno, pues él es Salvador. Obviamente, esta es una semblanza, lo que significa que es un extracto de su amplia experiencia. Y bueno, pues Salvador nos va a acompañar también aquí, por supuesto, es parte también de nuestros ponentes y también va a ir tomando las preguntas del público que nos sigue de manera sincrónica en este momento por los canales y los que nos siguen aquí también en este auditorio. Voy a presentar ahora a Malison Mackenzie. Malison, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks again for your time. And so, voy a permitirme leer su semblanza. Alison Mackenzie es profesora titular a tiempo completo de inglés que enseña a los estudiantes de la Facultad de Administración de Empresas de la Universidad de Toyo en Tokio, Japón. Comenzó a enseñar en la universidad en 2007 y actualmente es coordinadora del programa de lectura de la facultad. Tiene una maestría en educación con especialidad en TESOL, así como un posgrado en educación con especialidad en la enseñanza de inglés, francés y Japón a nivel de bachillerato. Ambos títulos son de la Universidad de Wollongong en Nueva Gales del Sur, es en Australia. Además, es licenciada en Educación Física y en Artes, con especialización en francés por la Universidad de Brock en Ontario, Canadá. Ha impartido clases a nivel secundaria, tanto en Japón como en Australia, y a estudiantes universitarios en México, Canadá y Japón durante más de 25 años. Sus intereses de investigación se centran en la lectura en lengua extranjera o segunda lengua, la fluidez lectora y oral, la adquisición de vocabulario, la comunicación intercultural y la autonomía del alumno. Ha coeditado 3 libros de texto sobre el aprendizaje de idiomas y ha impartido numerosos talleres de formación de profesores. En abril de 2017 viajó a Guanajuato, México, para pasar ahí un año sabático en la Universidad ENES León, mientras vivía y pasaba tiempo con 2 de sus hermanas residentes hace tiempo en San Miguel de Allende. En febrero de 2018 viajó a Malta para dar una presentación en el Congreso de la Revista Internacional de Artes y Ciencias sobre la recién inaugurada Mediateca de la Unidad comunidad en Es León. En su tiempo libre, le gusta viajar, bucear y comer buena comida, especialmente ramen y tacos de pastor. La primera vez que visitó México fue a los 12 años en las vacaciones de verano para visitar, aquí nos cuenta esta anécdota, a su amiga de la primaria que se había mudado a Orizaba, Veracruz. Y desde entonces, parte de su corazón está en México. Su pasatiempo más reciente es ver El Rey de Vicente Fernández en Netflix. Ella es Allison Mackenzie, que nos va a estar acompañando también el día de hoy. Y bueno, les platicaba también que Chava, que es uno de nuestros invitados también estrellas y que estamos muy contentos de que nos acompañe en esta facultad. Bueno, pues Salvador es, como les platicaba, la Inés León, que ustedes ya lo deben de tener también clarísimo, es una de las escuelas de extensión que tiene nuestra universidad, la UNAM. La escuela de Inés León justo se encuentra ubicada en León. Así es que gracias, Salvador, por venir desde allá, desde León, para visitarnos aquí en la facultad, y estamos muy contentos con esto. Les platico que, bueno, pues ahorita siéntese por favor, como siempre, en la libertad de hacer las preguntas que ustedes quieran. Yo me voy a dejar aquí un minuto para que puedan ustedes, al final, cuando Chava nos diga que están listos para hacer las preguntas, puedan hacer las preguntas ustedes, por favor, y nosotros te vamos a ir hacer llegando las del canal, ¿de acuerdo? Muy bien, pues bienvenidos a esta conferencia y por favor, te dejo en las mejores manos.
Pues muy buenos días. La verdad es que es un gusto poder estar aquí en la Facultad de Contaduría y Administración. Como bien lo dice Mitzi, es una dependencia de la UNAM que, bueno, es muy afín, muy cercana a la Escuela Nacional de Estudios Superiores Unidad León. Y estoy muy contento de poder compartir algo de la experiencia que he tenido con mi gran colega y amiga que se encuentra en estos momentos conectada por Zoom, la maestra Allison Mackenzie. La verdad es que, pues, agradezco la oportunidad de poder dirigirme a este grupo de jóvenes tan entusiastas y les comparto que, bueno, esta conferencia va a ser en inglés, o esta plática va a ser en inglés, porque, bueno, para apoyar con todo y que la maestra Allison habla algo de español por toda su experiencia en México, ya les platicará un poco del año sabático que hizo en la ENES León. La vamos a hacer en inglés. Entonces, yo sé que ustedes pues llevan sus clases de inglés, hablan inglés, entonces no va a haber ningún problema. También quiero, bueno, agradecer al titular de la Facultad en Contaduría y Administración, a un gran aliado, un gran amigo, yo diría, del ENES León, al maestro Tomás Humberto Rubio Pérez. Muchísimas gracias al señor director de la facultad por abrir estos espacios y permitirnos estar aquí. Por supuesto, a esta gran comunidad. A Mitzi, a Elisa y a Rodolfo, que hoy me recibieron con los brazos abiertos. Muchísimas gracias. Y bueno, pues en este momento vamos a cambiar. We're going to switch to English. So, thank you very much for being here. We're going to share some of our experiences on these collaborations that we've had from ENES León and Toyo University. My dear colleague, Allison. Hi, Ali. I call her Ali because she's my friend too.
Yeah, no, everyone calls me Ali, so please, let's just keep it with that. I only hear Allison when my mother's angry at me. Allison! So let's keep it to Ali.
So we'll stick to Ali. Thank you, Ali.
Okay, thank you so much.
So this is the agenda. We're gonna start with a brief an introduction for 20 minutes, the collaboration for 20 more minutes, where we're gonna talk about our global exchange workshop and our research that we've been doing. And we have 5 minutes for conclusions. And of course, we're gonna open the forum for some questions or comments from you guys and from the people that are following us in YouTube. All right, so now my Ali is gonna start with some of the features of Toyo University, so you guys can know a little better of Toyo.
Okay, thanks a lot, Salvador. And I'd like to say thank you a lot also for inviting me to participate in this excellent fair. I'm really excited to share some of the different things that Salvador and I've been doing for the past number of years. So I'll give you a little bit of background on Toyo University so that you have a little bit of context to connect to what I'm doing in Tokyo, Japan. So the university is a little bit old. It was founded 135 years ago in 1887. And it was originally founded as a philosophy academy by a renowned Japanese scholar called Professor Enryo Inoue. And he was also a Buddhist scholar, an author, and a philosopher. And after founding Toyo University from 1888 until his death in 1919, he gave lectures all over Japan, and all over the world. Actually, he did 3 world tours, and he was quite a renegade in his time. So then about 20 years after its foundation, the name changed to Toyo University, the current name we have now. And currently, Toyo University consists of a postgraduate law faculty. We also have 15 graduate schools. We've got 13 undergraduate faculties, a total of 45 departments, I believe it is, various research institutes, 5 affiliated high schools. And we serve a body of over 30,000 students on 5 different campuses in Tokyo and just a little bit outside of Tokyo, the surroundings. And a very interesting fact is that it was the very first private university in Japan to enroll female students in 1916. So we're quite innovative in that sense. It's a university that offers opportunities to all kinds of students. And we have also a very good scholarship program. That was one of the wishes of Professor Dr. Inoue, was that it allows accessible education to all students. So what I'll do next is, Salvador, I can't really see the PowerPoint, but can we, we're still on the main page, and I want to talk a little bit about Toyo University. We're a member of something in Japan called the Top Global University Project. And that was a 10-year initiative that was started by the Ministry of Education in Japan in 2014. So almost 10 years ago, we're almost finished that 10-year period. And the goal of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology, it's called MEXT for short, MEXT. The goal of MEXT was to implement university reforms, also to encourage internationalization, because Japan has tended to be quite inward looking. So they were looking to expand the focus. And in total, out of 775 possible universities that could have gotten chosen, we were one of 37. So it was quite an accomplishment for our university to be chosen for this very, very special program. We're receiving grants still now over that 10-year program. And the grants are aimed to help better develop leaders, global leaders, to become more internationalized. And the different things that includes is attracting more exchange students, also increasing the number of courses available in other languages. So, for example, especially in English, but in other languages, Chinese, different Asian languages, German, a little bit of Spanish as well. And especially with that, to strengthen our own students' abilities with a focus on building up their English skills, so that we can send more of our students to study abroad. That was one of the big focuses. Another focus was on hiring a more diverse faculty from abroad. So to really truly try to globalize and internationalize our university. And another thing was establishing partnerships with universities around the globe. And as of the end of July of this year, Toyo University was affiliated with 212 overseas partner institutions. And a final thing is we also focus on inviting foreign researchers to collaborate here at Toyo. And with that, I'll move on to pass the mic over to Salvador so he can tell you all about his experience at our university as a visiting professor. So, Salvador.
Thank you, Ali. Yeah, well, thanks for that introduction about Toyo University and how it went. Oh, it has this vision towards internationalization. And well, in this intervention, I would like to explain a little bit of what Enes León is, and it's also its plans for national and international projection. So Enes León, the National School of Higher Education in León, we have 10 majors, which include one that is really close to business administrations, the one you have, the ones you guys have in here, which is livestock and agricultural management. So that's why we have this closeness to the faculty of accounting and management here at a university city. One of the main points that our Dean Laura Costa in her institutional plan 2021-2025 has pointed out, of course, this is all aligned with our general UNAM plan by our chancellor, Dr. Enrique Graue Vigers. But this program 2.6 of Enes León especially tries to boost the links with international institutions. In this case, we are here talking with an international institution with Ali represents University of Toyo, but like this one, we have many others in our different majors that also represent these links that we're trying to boost. We also try or want to strengthen the bonds among entities with similar academic programs. And this is what I've been talking about, like entities, national entities and international entities with similar academic programs. One of the specific things of Enes León is that we have 4 majors from the social sciences. So we have that one that I just mentioned, and we also have industrial economics. We have tourism, our newest major, and we also have territorial development. So we have 4 from the social sciences. We have 4 from chemistry, biologics, and health that are dentistry, optometry, physical therapy, and one that is driven for research, which is agrogenomic sciences. And we have 2 from the arts and humanities, which are the major in translation and the major in intercultural development. So we are a multidisciplinary entity, and that also broadens up or gives us a lot of opportunity to look for certain partnerships in different disciplines. So that's one of the particularities that we have in Enes León. And of course, I'm here because I'm part of the business, livestock and agricultural management. That's why I have a close relationship with this faculty and their professors. We also, in this case, would like to take advantage of the new technologies like we're doing now. Ali, just for you to know, Ali is, it's late in Japan. It's a Friday night. In Japan, it's probably like 12 a.m. Ali, what time is it now?
Yeah, it's almost midnight. Almost
midnight. So, yeah, it's almost midnight there. We have a lot of challenges that we're gonna also talk about that, but it's Friday night for Ali. So also Ali, thank you very much for this effort and joining us on a Friday night in Japan. Anyways, so take these advantages, virtual advantages like we're doing now. It's one of the points that our Enes León plan of institutional development tries to do. also host activities that will introduce our community to new ideas and international trends like conference. So as you may know, there are international trends. So we have a lot of international conference in all different majors and postgraduate degrees or graduate degrees, sorry. So that's another of our activities. And also increase our number of international networks. So that's a very important part. We try that our faculty join a lot of international networks in the different disciplines. So I'm sure that now we're building one here, and also, well, the one we've built with Japan. So real briefly, I would like to share with you guys, in the meanwhile that I'd share, can someone tell me from what major are you guys from? Management? And what is the, are you all part of one class? Same class? No, different classes? Okay. Different courses? Management, okay. So real quick, I want to show you my visit. Guys, this was an amazing experience. I went to Japan, to Tokyo for 3 weeks, and it was great to get to see the Japanese culture. By the way, I barely made it through COVID because I went there in December of 2019. So it would have been 2 or 3 months later, I'd have been screwed because I wouldn't be able to go. So I was really happy that I got to go. Of course, I have all the experiences in many cities in Japan, but I'm here to talk about the academic experience, which was really great. I have the opportunity. We'll have a welcome party from the Japanese faculty and administrators, which was very nice there at the university. Here's Ali and myself with all the crew of Toyo. Very well welcoming. And well, I have to do some academic activities that included a talk to business management as well as students. And this talk was driven to a very important thing that we have in León, that maybe I'm sure you guys know. We have a automotive cluster in León, Guanajuato, that has many original equipment manufacturers, and 4 of them are Japanese. So we have 5 in total, but out of the 5, 4 of them are Japanese. So we have Toyota, Mazda, Inno Motors, Honda, and 1 American, which is General Motors. So our Japanese population in León is very interesting because we have a lot of people from Japan working for these companies. And well, this also adds to the opportunities that Ali and I saw in order to do some research on that matter. So these are some pictures of my talk. Over there was around 150 people or students there. And well, to be honest with you, it was very enriching. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Salvador, may I just add, I think your talk was one of the best attended talks that we've had for the visiting researchers. Yeah, my faculty was very happy with the number of students that showed up for your talk.
Thank you very much. So that's like summarizing. Great experience, personal, academic, research, everything was great. Japan, it's amazing. Toyo University is amazing. So now I'll pass the stick to Ali so she can talk us about her sabbatical in Enes León.
Okay, excellent. Thanks a lot, Salvador. So basically, are there 2 other posters, or is that the only one there? Okay, excellent. Taking a little time. Okay, so basically in from April of 2017, for 1 year until March of 2018, I had the wonderful opportunity to spend a year in Mexico with Unidad Enes León. And Yeah, it was a great experience. Actually, wonderful. I first met Salvador, I think it was in 2015, maybe Salvador, when I was visiting my sisters. As you heard in the introduction, two of my sisters were living in Mexico, in San Miguel de Allende at the time. And I was visiting them, and I knew that I had the opportunity to do a sabbatical coming up. So I thought, wow, what a great chance to spend a year with my sisters, visiting them, and also have my sabbatical. So I knew there was a small campus of UNAM in San Miguel de Allende. So I visited the campus, and yeah, very small at the time. And I spoke to the receptionist, and I said, you know, I'm interested in talking to somebody about doing research here. And so I met Salvador. And I'll never forget the first time we met Salvador, because, you know, I had done a little bit of research on UNAM. And I remember when we met, I said to you, yeah, I work at a university in Tokyo, and it's a rather large university. In Japan, 30,000 students. I think we have 33,000 full-time undergraduate students. Is quite large. It's considered quite large here. So I said to Salvador upon meeting him, you know, I think our universities are quite similar. We have 30,000 undergrad students, similar to UNAM. And Salvador's face kind of, Ali, we have 300,000 students. And then my face dropped, because my jaw dropped, because I couldn't believe that any university could have so many students. And now I heard that it's even more. It's like 340,000 students. So yeah, that was a big shock for me, finding that out. But then Salvador proposed that I go to the León campus, because the campus in San Miguel was too small to get any research done. So I couldn't organize that trip at that time. That was in 2015 when I was visiting my sisters. So he proposed that I visit and talk to Maestro de la Fuente. So I think I organized that on my next trip in 2016. In April, I visited Mexico again. And I organized a trip to go to León. My sister, who was living there, said, Ali, I'll drive you there. And she had just had a baby. She had a 1-year-old daughter. And so we put her in the baby car, and we drove from San Miguel to León. And we got to the campus. And I was very well received. Maestro took me into his office and said, so tell me, how was your trip here? How did you get here? And I said, oh, my sister drove me here. She's waiting out on the sofa with my little niece. And Maestro said to me, oh, go get her. Come on, bring her into the office. And for me, having worked in Japan for, at that time, more than 20 years, that was a big culture shock, because in Japan, that would never happen. If you have an official meeting to talk about a sabbatical, you do that only with the people making the decision. So I was very shocked. And so my sister came in, joined us. We talked for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And then Maestro de la Fuente said to me, oh, please wait here for a few minutes. And he left the office. And he came back and said, okay, Allison, please come with me. And I went into another room, and I spoke with 4 of the English teachers at the campus. And we spent, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes talking. And then he said, okay, please go back and wait with your sister. And he talked with the teachers for a few minutes more. And then he came back to the office and said, welcome to NS León. Please come next year for your sabbatical. And that was another big culture shock for me, because in Japan, those kinds of decisions take months to happen, not minutes. So yeah, that was a second big culture shock for me, getting ready for my sabbatical. So anyways, getting to the sabbatical, I went to Mexico in April, and then as you can see on the slides, I presented a couple of different workshops to students, pronunciation workshops and vocabulary workshops. I also did two teacher training courses, one in León, one in San Miguel de Allende. And the thing that really impressed me was the enthusiasm of the students, of the professors, of the teachers, the friendliness, the kindness, the warmth. I just really was so well accepted. And for the seminars, the workshops that I put on for the students, it was another big shock to me how they were so communicative. And because in Japan, students don't tend to ask questions, they're quite silent. So when I was bombarded with questions and the students were actively participating, I just felt what an excellent and wonderful environment to be in. So I really envied all of the staff and students at the campus there. It was just a absolutely wonderful experience. And then beyond that, I was working with one of the instructors there. They had just started up Mediateca in León. So I was doing a little research on that, and I went to Malta in oh gosh, when was that? That would have been maybe February, just before the end of my sabbatical. And I presented on the information I had learned about the Mediateca there. So all in all, my 1-year sabbatical was just an unforgettable and amazing year. And yeah, so I think that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, what a remarkable experience for me. Thank you so much to everyone at UNAM and at NS as well. Thank you. And thanks, Salvador, for the opportunity to do that.
Thank you, Ali. Likewise. Yeah, let me tell you that this faculty of accounting and management is one of the biggest one in UNAM. They have around, you tell me guys, 16,000, 17,000 students.
Wow.
More?
Wow.
More than that? 18, 19, 20? 18? 10,000. Oh, okay. Well, still very big. Thank you. 10,000 students and a lot of faculty as well. And I'm sure they're as participative, yeah, I guess that's a word, as the people in San Miguel. And we're going to have a lot of questions and comments from them when we finish. All right, so let's move on to our collaboration. So these are the specific activities that we've been doing for the last, let's say, actively for the last maybe 2 or 3 years, 3 years maybe now. So we designed this global exchange workshop. This global exchange workshop, we meet maybe 4-5 times a year to share with our students, the NS León students and the Toyo University students, some topics that we'd like to discuss either from the live in Mexico and Japan, or even farther than that. So the objective of this global workshop, we've defined it, is to build a collaborative environment among students and faculty in order to discuss and promote different topics oriented to business management and culture in the English language. So as they say, we kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because we practice English, so our students are practicing the English language, but we as well are talking about business management topics, culture topics, some of the economic topics that are all around the globe. And so we choose some of these topics that come from our students. Let's say that we have a meeting this week, this workshop, and then at the end of the session, we'll be like, so guys, what do you want to talk about the next session? Any options, any comments on a topic that you would like to go through? And so we get a lot of feedback from them. So these are the sessions that we've had so far. Our first one was in February of 2021 with the impacts of foreign direct investments in Japan and Mexico, of course, because that was our first topic that we worked together. So we decided that was our first one. And then right after that, we talked about challenges to doing business in a foreign country. So you guys, I'm sure you know the different challenges that we people as managers have to deal with the different cultural aspects of all the different countries, even inside our countries. Like people from León probably won't do business the same way as people from Mexico City or Monterrey or Guadalajara. So even in the countries, we have different ways of doing business and relate to people. In October 2021, we went to new ways to consume, the impact of COVID-19. So this was a very popular one. We have 24 participants in this one. So yeah, you know, we talk about all the consumerism and how COVID changed that. November 2021, we talk about COVID and the economy and tourism with 16 participants. February of this year, business perspective of national holidays. So that was one with the very cultural driven one. May 2022, we talked about Japan and Mexico, cultural differences and similarities with 12 participants. So we're planning our next one for October, mid-October, October the 12th. And maybe we can invite some of the students here. Like it will be nice to have a couple of you guys so you can share one of these topics with students from Japan. Let me tell you this: the students from Enes León keep in touch with students of Japan, of Tokyo, by themselves, and they develop some kind of friendships. So who knows? Maybe you get some invites, or you invite a student from Tokyo, and you start networking with people from abroad. And we've been growing. We've had more faculty. It was just Ali and myself that joined. Probably Watson joined us. Watson is a dear professor. Ali calls him Watson. I don't remember his real name, but obviously his real name is Japanese. He'll tell us in a second.
Sato Sensei.
Sato Sensei. Okay, so Watson, he joined us, and he's another professor, and we also have had professors from León and professors from other universities or other majors in Toyo University. So we've been growing with more faculty, and we've tried to involve more students. And I was saying, as I was saying before, students keep in touch with their peers in the other country by different means. And well, we try to use of new tools that work as means of communication. So these new tools, like we know WhatsApp very well, but they have another tool in Japan that is more used than WhatsApp. So we'll talk about that later. So overall, this is like our experience in the Global Exchange workshop. I don't know if Ali, do you want to add something that I was missing about this?
No, I think you've covered it very, very well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then a brief clip. I want to show you guys how these workshops seem. I think this was our very first one. So we're gonna have like an introduction. Maybe I'll fast forward to the part where we start discussing the topic, because at first it's just like the introducing ourselves. So it's 5 minutes. It's not a long clip, but still, I think I'm gonna fast forward here in a little bit.
I'm very excited about this project. Thank you very much for joining, and to the Toyo students as well. Thank you so very much for joining, and I hope we can have not only today, but also in the future, that we can build a great connection and continue this this exchange of talking and knowledge, and etc., etc. How about when the person talks, they choose someone to go? Salvador.
Thank you very much for your introduction. I'm as well really happy to be here. We've been talking about this So here we all introduce ourselves.
Pass the mic to
Round 3,
Andy
we're like,
Masuda.
so this is
maybe a culture.
this is Sato Sensei Watson, and several students, well, some students from Japan and some of our students.
Where we can speak about this very important topic. So, of course, the wages definitely are some other important factor. But yeah, as this first intervention,
How entertaining it is.
this model of countries and specific.
It was around the 3-minute mark. Or, yeah.
About like automotive investment in the region or in Mexico in general. I know we are a strong country that produces a lot of parts and well, the cars themselves.
Thank you. Let me just take the hand down. Okay, yeah, so, well, I'm not really sure about Japan. I do apologize for that. But I do have some other questions because while I was doing some research, I was talking to a friend from Argentina.
Yeah, I also want to add some comment about Viviana said, and Japanese automotive industry have worked in Asia. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Tamaki, and if I was mistaken, I didn't understand the term, but I will share something, and I will ask some question to UNAM students.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Well, a little bit. I mean, I know we can listen that well, but this is a part of our first workshop with there was an Italian. Well, that's another important thing from our workshop, that we have people, since Japan is like an international university. Toyo is an international university, as Ali was saying. We usually have students from many different countries in Asia. Like we have Chinese, Vietnamese, of course, Japanese, many different students that will also, or will always, will enrich the discussion, because sometimes we'll also talk about what is happening in their countries around the topic that we're discussing. So that's our workshop, one of our activities, and other of our activities, it's some research that Ali and myself have been going through, and well, here are some of the activities that we've done in this topic. Ali?
Okay, well, yeah, actually in the past video, we saw Take. He was the guy who talked a little bit about foreign direct investment. And Salvador was kind enough a few years back to actually interview him. And I use that interview video in one of my classes. The topic is foreign direct investment. And I base my reading class on case studies. So not only do the students read case study on the topic, but they also have supplementary listening activities. They do speaking class, etc. So that was really great. Yeah, we're working on we've already done one publication which was connected to that topic, and we're working on a new topic. So do you want to talk a little bit about that, Salvador, the new topic that we're working on?
Yeah, sure. So building on our collaboration, we want to go over a new workshop article. So fortunately, Ali, she's editor. Are you still the editor, Ali, of the journal?
I'm not the editor, but I am the English proofreader, English checker.
Okay, so she's part of the team. And we're trying to build this new article on how our sessions and have been going. We just had an interview last Monday, I think, with students, one student from Toyo and one student from Enes Leon. And we talked about their experience. So Ali was kind enough to design 11 questions, and they have to pick 3 out of the 11 and talk about their experience during these workshops that they've joined. So it's going to be more towards teaching and learning and all that kind of stuff that are also part of our research lines. So that's going to be our next article that we're building. I don't know if you want to add something about that, Ali.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Yeah, more experiential and how the students are learning and gaining and benefiting from the workshops that we're offering.
All right. So we're getting to our conclusion. So we have many challenges, also a lot of opportunities. So we want to keep growing, right? We want to attract universities from other countries to collaborate. We have many or several collaborations, so we would like to join some other countries. It will be amazing if we can have other countries that will join these topics and will enrich the discussion. One of our challenges is to keep the student engagement. It's interesting. Once they're there, they're really happy, but sometimes it's hard for us to keep the engagement. We will try to get some new strategies and tactics in order to keep the engagement from our students, which they're really enthusiastic. That's the truth. But we have this challenge. Of course, the timetable and time difference. I think this is one of our biggest challenges. As I was saying, we have I think now it's 13-hour difference or something like that. 14-hour difference. Japan is 14 hours ahead of us. So it's hard to try to set up a time that will work for the both of us. Normally, we do it at night here in Mexico and early morning in Japan. That's our normal thing. And today was the other way around. But normally we do our workshops, let's say 6 p.m. in Mexico and 8 a.m. in Japan, something like that. And also they have a busy schedule, the students there. And yeah, it has to be like early so they can be able to join. We have different communication tools like WhatsApp. It will be so easy that in Japan, or it will be easy if in Mexico, we will use Line. Line is the WhatsApp from Japan. So if they will use WhatsApp there or we'll use Line, it will be so much easier because you will probably just make a WhatsApp group as we all do, and it will makes the thing so much easier. We implement this Slack thing, which is probably some of you guys know this tool to try to keep communication, and we'll also email, which some students or some people here in Mexico don't use it a lot anymore, but that's one of our tools that we're using. And will also benefit from the diverse environment. There was in the video, there was an Italian guy. And as I was saying, there are so many people from other countries, especially in Asia, that this diversity, as you may know, of course, diversity as one of the pushers or elements of innovation. So diversity is a very important part of our activities, and we totally encourage that to happen. And well, happily, I've always said that before signing a formal agreement, you need to have activities in order to justify it. So after working for 3 years in all these workshops, research, and everything, because universities can have many formal agreements, but 0 activities. So we did it the other way around. So we started with the activities, the workshop, the research, and some other activities that we're planning to have. And after that, Ali kindly she reached the International Affairs Office, and we have a formal agreement that Ali is going to talk a little bit about.
Okay. Yeah, well, actually, I think the situation, the worldwide situation, I don't know if I can say the word, we might get banned from YouTube or whatever, but it could have happened a lot sooner had it not been for what's been happening in the world for the past 2.5 years. But yeah, finally, we had the agreement between our two universities that was signed last month. It was finally signed last month, and I'm so pleased that formal agreement has taken place. I think that it shows a lot for the work that Salvador, our students, myself, my colleagues here have been doing. Also, don't forget Robbo. He's one of the, Graham Robson is a professor in the Faculty of International Tourism here at Toyo University. He always has his students participate. So we really have a great, as Salvador said, great diverse group of people, international. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to more collaboration, continued collaboration, and expanding it. So I think that's all for me, Salvador.
Thank you, Ali. And I like to point out that it was signed by the president of Toyo University. So it's like the president signed it, and of course, our dean in Inés León, Dr. Laura Susana Costa Torres. All right, guys. So this is all we got. Arigato gozaimasu. That's a thank you in Japanese, the only word I learned, to be honest with you. But thank you very much for your attention. And this is our information. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, we have a raised hand here. We have YouTube questions. Thank you. Empezamos con las de aquí o las de YouTube. Aquí, ¿verdad? Adelante, muchas gracias. Go ahead.
Well, could you tell us, maybe, I don't know, both of you or Salvador?
Yeah.
Could you tell us what you think was the biggest challenge that this pandemic brought to businesses and in general to the economy, and what can we learn from it?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, so many challenges COVID brought us, of course. I think the challenges are particular in every industry. Like, it's hard for me to give a general overview of the challenges. But for instance, one of the most hit industries was tourism, right? But tourism right now is reactivating as we haven't seen before. Of course, maybe academic tourism or business tourism, we can do it by Zoom, but the recreational tourism, it's like boosting so hard, impressively. So this, of course, I'm sure you guys know how the supply chain the supply chains are struggling all around the world. So I think in general, the biggest challenge that this COVID thing brought us was show us how weak our supply chains are. Because all the world, of course, we get, let's say the companies or the original equipment manufacturers in Guanajuato, let's just set an example, Mazda in Salamanca, some of their components, they brought them from Asia, Japan, China. Some of other components, they brought them from South America, Brazil. Some of their components, they come from Europe. So this supply chains at some point were wrecked, and that's how we knew how weak our supply chains are. So in business, if I had to say what will be like our biggest challenge that this COVID-19 showed us, it's our supply chain weaknesses. And specifically in Mexico, I mean, it's very obvious how we struggle, especially with supply chains of food, which is the major that I'm involved to. I mean, the avocado supply chains, we all know that they stopped one of our agriculture commodities that we export a lot to the US especially. It was stopped for a while. So that will be like my general overview of the supply chains. For me was the biggest challenge in business, business topic. Thank you. Should I read the ones from YouTube? This is a question in Spanish, Ali. This is gonna be out there for you.
Okay. No, it's okay.
All right. Ali,
Sí.
¿cuál ha sido el mayor aprendizaje que te dejó México? Y después, ¿cuál ha sido el mejor aprendizaje que te dejó Japón? Adelante.
You were chopping up a little there. ¿Puedes repetirlo?
¿Cuál ha sido el mejor aprendizaje que te dejó México?
Para mí pienso que lo mejor era de aprender cómo ser como la paciencia, to be patient, porque aquí en Japón todo funciona por la hora, exactamente, pero en México ahorita, mañana, right? It's the typical word. So I learned patience, and I learned to, I would say, just to learn to be and to connect more with what's happening right now and just be happy in the moment. I love that part of Mexican culture. It took a big adjustment, but I really love that part. Thanks. Great question. And also, well, that's about me. That was for me, okay? But what I really loved and loved about being there was the joy and the friendliness of the Mexican people, because that doesn't happen so easily in Japan. It's a different type of culture. So for me, that was the part where I learned patience was where it challenged me, and the part where I saw the love and joy of the people enriched me. So both were great learning experiences.
Great, thank you. Para mí el mejor aprendizaje que me dejó Japón, bueno, en realidad estuve allá 3 semanas. La verdad, uno de los países, yo lo he platicado mucho con Ali, a mí me encantaría poder ir a hacer un sabático a Tokio, ahí a Toyo, porque fue una experiencia increíble. En términos personales, bueno, fueron muchas cosas las que yo vi allá, sobre todo el tema de lo que menciona Ali, pero al revés, ¿no? Yo creo que existe un balance, lo he platicado con Ali, aquí la voy a ventanear un poco. Ella comenta, lleva 24 años por ahí viviendo en Japón, Ali, 20, 24.
Un poco más.
Un poco más.
En los últimos 30 años, 27.
27. Entonces ella me comentaba que le gusta un poco el caos, ¿no? De México, y el caos en el buen sentido de la palabra, ¿no? Cuando uno se va a los extremos, pues lo que quiere es a lo mejor la otra parte, ¿no? Y Ali en este momento a lo mejor está buscando un poco más de caos en su vida después de estar 27 años en Japón viviendo con las reglas a rajatabla. Y bueno, a mí yo estoy del otro lado. Yo quiero un poco de disciplina y un poco de puntualidad. Entonces, fue lo que me gustó, los trenes a tiempo, impresionante la tecnología que se vive allá en Japón, pero también es muy sui generis y es particular porque hay mucha tecnología, pero también en una de nuestras sesiones hablábamos de cómo todavía siguen usando el fax. Yo les pregunto, pues, no sé si ustedes conozcan el fax. El fax, esta máquina que se usaba para mandar memos o documentos, pero en México, bueno, pues yo ya no las veo por ningún lado. No sé ustedes, ¿perdón? Hace 20 años, ¿no? 20 years ago.
Sí, pero aquí hay empresas que todavía utilizan los fax. No, ahora no tan mucho, pero
nos hablaban, por ejemplo, le preguntamos a Watson, y lo tengo muy presente, que decía que hasta el 80% de las oficinas todavía en Japón siguen usando el fax. Entonces, pues es como un claroscuro, ¿no? De decir, tienen una tecnología impresionante en muchos sentidos y por otro lado siguen utilizando tecnología de hace 20 años. Entonces esa fue una de las cosas que me llamaron mucho la atención, entre otras cosas como por ejemplo no veis un solo perro callejero, ¿no? Esa es una de las cosas que también
Sí.
estaba muy interesante. Sí, sí, adelante, gracias. Para Alison.
I have some question for Alice.
Yes.
Alice, what is the quantity of students or abroad students in Toyo University?
The international students?
National students, yeah.
Okay, well, you have to understand that after COVID, or during COVID, Japan completely shut its borders, which meant that even people, there was one time where even people like me, I have, soy residente permanente, I have it here in Japan. If I would have been stuck outside of Japan in that closed period, even I could not have come back in. The only people coming in, allowed in, were Japanese passport holders. So all tourism, all international students were banned from coming in. So we have taken a really big fall in the numbers of students. It's just starting to come back. Today actually was the first day of classes for the second semester. When we talked about the scheduling and timetable challenges, not only is the time difference 13, 14 hours, but we begin our semesters at different times. So I do believe it's, I don't know the number right now, 1,200 maybe at the biggest point, but I'm sure it's quite lower now. But yeah, I can, if you're really interested in that, you can look at the Toyo University English website and it'll tell you the answer, but I think it's around 1,200. But I don't know if that's before COVID or after, but thank you.
Okay, so I have the opportunity to live in Germany. Germany has some similarities with Japan. Yeah? I feel shocked that
Some, they're very straight cultures and they want everything on time and they don't want interruptions when people are speaking, and there are some similarities. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a shock for me, yeah. Because
Yeah,
pushes the idea out of all has a time, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your question.
Okay.
Thank you. So we have another one here for Ali. It says it's from YouTube, I guess. Can you recommend me an advice for some study in an international university? Maybe an advice for international university that you might know that will, I don't know.
Well, that's a pretty broad question. Probably my advice would be to make sure to research, because depending on the country you're going to, make sure you research about the country, make sure you do your research about the university, about the program, and then start to prepare to know what you should bring, what you should do, and start to think about culture, because there's always going to be culture shocks. Think about how the culture you're going to is similar or different from yours. And also, if you're going for 1 year or 1 semester, it's a different thing. But preparation, I guess, is the most important thing, both academically and mentally.
Great. Thank you, Ali. Well, I think this is it, right? We've done. One more? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
First of all, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I find this project exciting and promising. So I have 2 questions for our researchers. How do you think this project can influence students in the future? How do you think? And that's.
Thank you. Want to take that, Ali?
Well, if I base it on the interview that Salvador and I did last week with 2 of our students, I think that students are able to talk to such a diverse range of other students. And I think they really appreciate the different ways of thinking and the different learning about culture and learning about how different cultures and different people communicate in different ways. So if you study about cross-cultural communication, for example, in USA or Canada, the culture there is very direct. We'll say yes or no. In Japan, that doesn't happen. It's not culturally, it's not culturally acceptable to say no in a strong way. So I think probably to me, the biggest thing students learn is as far as themselves personally go, it's learning about new cultures, and as far as academically and then in their future careers go, it can be about networking and making connections, which is also very, very important in today's world. Networking is very important in the business world. So Salvador, do you have anything to add to that?
I will join from your last comment, the networking. I was actually thinking that it's so important. I think that I've always thought that life is about options. So if you join this kind of things, it'll get you to meet people. And when you meet people, options might arise. The more people you know, the more options you have. So in this case, you'll be meeting people from Japan, faculty and students. So if you are a person that would like to travel, if you join this kind of learning things or this kind of workshops, maybe nothing will happen, maybe, or maybe you can join and be able to share experiences, and maybe we'll get this connection with people that will bring you options. So that's the thing that I wanted to add, all this option thing. Thank you for your question. All right, is that it? Muchas gracias. Gracias. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you very much. I had a wonderful time today.
Okay, well, have a good night there in Japan.
So, thank you very much. Thank you, Alison Mackenzie.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for the
And
opportunity.
sharing with us here in this Faculty of Accounting and Management. Thank you. Thank you for all the people who has been here with us today. Y muchas gracias, Salvador. De verdad, gracias a todos los asistentes. Me voy a permitir leer la constancia de agradecimiento. La Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México, la Facultad de Contaduría y Administración, otorgan el presente reconocimiento a Alison Mackenzie y a Salvador Andrade Ortiz por su destacada participación como ponente en la conferencia Toyo University NS UNAM León, a Multidimensional Experience of Collaboration. Muchas gracias, que fue llevada a cabo el 23 de septiembre y firma nuestro director, el maestro Tomás Humberto Rubio Pérez. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos ustedes.
Muchas gracias. Gracias. Y gracias a los que nos siguen también. Que tengan un buen día. Hasta luego.
Bye, Ali. Bye, Ali.
Bye.